This is something I've been working on for a lifetime. At this point in my life, I'm 69 years old. I've had years and years, oh my God, more years than you can even imagine, of experience in business. All the way from starting as a call center agent way back in the 70s to being a CEO and president as I am today. So, being the guy that I am, I started writing a book because I figured, okay, well, maybe someday someone will see this somewhere, pick it up, it'll plant a seed for them, and they'll get some of the lessons that I've worked hard to learn. So with that, the book is called Lessons I've Learned in No Particular Order. I did grab onto a couple mentors, and all unbeknownst to them, those are the people that I learned with. So let me share with you some of the lessons I've learned in no particular order. Good morning. It's Friday, September 30th, 2022. You're getting ready for the weekend. Maybe you can take what I'm about to talk to you about with you this week and think about it, and maybe it will help you in your business. Listen, I'm just sharing with you things that I have learned over my lifetime and wanting to see if it can help you. So today, the lesson that I want to talk about, and it was a hard lesson for me to learn, and I think, although it's logical, it's incredibly difficult for any business that is tight financially, managing their resources along those lines, and trying to compete with a mature market where there are a lot of other competitors, and especially well-to-do competitors with big marketing. Where do you fit in, and how can you even make a living? You know, we come up with an idea when we want to start a business, and then we take that idea and we really believe in it. We think there's something unique and special about it, and or that we're just really going to be the best at doing it. And then we build a way to go ahead and start getting into that business. And oftentimes it happens somewhat with Kismet. I get a client, I get somebody that is willing to try me out. I begin to do my work and I find they like it and I'm good at it. However, entrepreneurs begin, inevitably they get to a point that they realize that they have more than just that service or that product. They actually have a business. And in that business, they begin to go look for customers. And it's hard to look for customers. And so what they do is they begin to knock on doors, they get rejected over and over and over. They put all their money together and go to a trade show, begin to walk around other shows, and go to networking meetings, and they do a wide range of costless tactics, essentially. But that one thing that they spent money on, that trade show, now they're really counting on that. And I would tell you more times than not, it doesn't work. They go to that show and it's the first time there, and they look small against their big neighbors. And it's really tough. Many of those businesses go out of business. On the other hand, businesses that have been successful can also struggle with marketing. Now, at one point, those businesses were marketing, but then they get to a point where things are financially risky for them. And one of the things they feel is an option is cutting back on that marketing. And when they cut back on that marketing, they're trying to kind of stabilize themselves. Well, let me tell you my own experience. So there was a period of my life where I was a consultant to businesses that were in trouble, a turnaround consultant per se. And I would always talk to the business when I came in, and I would just say, look, tell me what you're doing at the moment to stabilize or help your business. And they would go through a list of things. And most of those things that they talked to me about were cost-cutting measures. I'm not paying this. I'm extending my payables in that way, and I'm pushing on my receivables to get more money in. And and they wouldn't even talk to me often about marketing. And I would say, "What are you doing about marketing?" And, well, look, I can't afford marketing. And I would say, "Look, I can't help you." "Well, what do you mean, Steve? This is what you do. We know that you've had success. We really have been looking forward to this meeting." And I said, "Because look, if you're unwilling to market, then in fact you're going to be in a position where nobody's going to know you, and you've put a knife in your stomach already." Now, listen, next week when we talk again, I'm going to talk to you about that, and I call that gap marketing. But today, what I'm going to say is there are ways that you can get in front of the public. There are ways that you can do it that don't cost money, or don't cost much money, let's put it. And the most important thing that you can do, especially if you're a small company, is create a celebrity within your organization. It's critical. Why am I here today talking to you? Why am I doing it this way? Why didn't I just write a book and just publish it? Why am I in front of you today is the question. Because our company at NobleBiz made a decision to become a leader in our industry. We didn't make a decision to spend gobs and gobs of money to convince the public that we would be a leader. What we did make a decision is to be a leader, but we have to get that word out. So any company, every company should think in terms of how do we become celebrities in that industry. And by the way, it's not the company that can become a celebrity. How often do you hear companies are the celebrity? No. You hear Apple. Are they the celebrity, or was Steve Jobs the celebrity? Well, obviously Steve Jobs. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett is the celebrity. Bill Gates is a celebrity. And others within those organizations, within their segments and verticals, became celebrities. So what is a celebrity? And how do you do it? So we at our company say, okay, so we recognize that people, the public, the customer potential base reacts best to us if they see us as human, if they see us as real people. So how do we do that? Well, honestly, what we do is we look in our organization and we choose some people or a person, depending on the situation that you're in, maybe yourself, and we go, that is a person that is capable to be in public, has the qualities that emphasize who we are and what we believe in, can articulate those, and is willing. They don't need to be the most attractive person. They don't even need to be the most well-spoken person, but they need to be willing to talk about who they are, what they believe in. You heard me. I didn't say what the company is and what it believes in, but what they are and what they believe in. And they're willing to do it over and over and over. So that celebrity, as a baseline, has to be human. They have to be who people are. They don't want to be perfect. This isn't the type of celebrity where they're putting on the makeup and practicing over and over and making darn sure that they're going to come off as highly professional. That's not what that celebrity needs. What they're going to do is get out in the public over and over and over, and they're going to repeat the messages of who they are, that individual. In our company, we have a person, Michael McGuire. We have another person, Christian Montez. We have myself, of course. And these are three people. We have a fourth, David Atkinson and Bradley Butler. And we have taken this group of people and individually introduced them to the market where they can be themselves and be human. And they can be memorable in that humanity. And people will admire the person that they are, just like we admire each other. And then what happens? We have to then say, okay, how do we do this in a memorable, consistent pattern so that we sort of, in a sense, inundate the public with that personality? Yeah, we put our logo next to that person. We put some information about us. And sometimes, just as I do here, we'll move over to our company and talk a little bit about it. But the reality is a company is just a structure. The reality is what somebody purchases from you are the people that do it, that do the work, that put the relationship together, that manage that relationship. So if there is trust built within that community with those quote unquote celebrities, then in fact, I guess what I would say is the bet is that we're betting that the public, the market will see the company as an extension of them. And usually it is, because the reality is that they want to be human. They don't want to be, we almost don't want to pick people that are perfect in what they're doing. We just want to pick people that are willing to talk about the things that they believe in and the things that are important, or their knowledge base. And so you have to care and you want to show it. And that's, by the way, how you build a celebrity. But there's another piece of it. And as I said, next week, we're going to talk about the gaps in marketing that you need to jump into to be competitive in your landscape. But something I'll say today that will also be consistent when we do that message to you, or that lesson to you, is that you have to find methods to be consistent and to do it over and over and over. So this is now the 12th session of lessons I've learned in no particular order. Now, I'm not talking about contact center software. I'm not talking about what you need in terms of the best carrier services in our industry. I'm talking about, as I lead this company, this is how I lead this company with the lessons I've learned. And if you believe in the things that I'm saying, or they resonate for you, and you understand my humanity, and you understand my caring, then maybe when you need what I offer, you'll come to me, or to my company now, to get it. But you'll come to my company because of me. Hopefully you just don't get to me because you came to my company, because there'll be a heck of a lot less of that. So it's not a hard thing to do to build a celebrity, but I'll tell you a story. Years ago, this was, my goodness, 20 years ago, I had been fighting to be competitive in an incredibly mature industry. And so I couldn't do it. People just weren't listening to me. And I thought what I had was really good. This was in the contact center space, and it was technology. But I was dealing with these big established companies, and nobody gave me the time of day. Nobody gave me the time of day. But what they did do is they started asking me to speak at conferences. And every time I spoke at a conference, in a breakout meeting or whatever that panel was, or something else, it came easy to me. And I felt like I was building my own network through doing that. And I had built a nice, small but nice network. And I finally realized, the only thing that seems to resonate with people in this industry is me at that time. And I don't mean that from an ego point of view. I meant that I couldn't get my product in front of people. So I finally said, I better find a way to get me out there. Now, at the time, I didn't label it as a celebrity and those words, but I said, if I cannot market my company and it won't resonate, then I'm going to market myself as an extension of the company. And I began to do that, and it was a humbling, because you don't feel worthy, you don't feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you don't feel like anything except a struggling business with no money, but something of quality, and that is the product and service that you're selling. So you just have to do it. And so you get over yourself. It's not about thinking you're a hero, it's the opposite. You have to get over yourself and begin to be public. I began to write articles. I began to do, we bought a space for an editorials where I was writing regular editorials about things. They weren't often about my company. They were just about things, kind of like this is today. And I did it over and more people began to talk about me. And as they talked about me, in parallel with that, we began to get more leads, or people would relate to us when we would contact them, and we would say, they'd say, we don't know who you are. And they'd say, well, Steve Biederman, have you heard? Oh, yeah, I think I've heard that name. And then you establish some level of rapport. And it began to work that way. Well, over the years, what I've learned is one celebrity is pretty good, but many are better. So how do you take your group of people and introduce them the consistent methods of over and over putting them in front of the public to be themselves? That's what you need to do. Over and over, take the people in your company that are willing and human and caring and exemplifying the standards and core values that the company espouses, and get behind them to do it more and more. And the next meeting we have, I'll talk about how you do that in the gaps, because I think there's something very valuable about that. Because remember, it's very tough to just afford to put ads out. It's very tough to do that. And after all, isn't the company just the people in it anyway? So with that, look, I'll let you go today. We've been on this for 18 minutes, and that's plenty on a Friday. Talk to me if you ever have any questions. I hope you listen to this today or at another time. And thanks. And listen, come to this company of ours, Noble Biz. I think you'll like it. You take care. Bye-bye.